So it's midweek Wardy's waffle time, and just before we get into what we've got in this update, had a great Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday morning in Blackpool with the young farmers. Thank you very much for everybody who came up, said hello. It was always great to have a chat with you and get into some of the clubs with you at night and relive some of our youth with Ollie and Martin and Tom Pemberton and Rebecca. So thanks very much. Had a great time. Good to see you all. So at the start of this clip, we've got a little few minutes just from the Young Farmers event in Blackpool. Also looking at the barley that we planted in about 3 weeks ago now. That's come up well. Also a quick look at some of the stewardship land we've got that needs to be replanted this coming next month or two. Also the agricultural chaplaincy, the Lincolnshire Agricultural Chaplaincy had a sponsored walk that Rhonda took part in. So I've got a little snippet from that and a talk to and a chat to Alan Robson, who some of you know Lincolnshire. He has been absolutely fantastic at supporting farmers in the region. So got a quick 2 minutes talking to him. Also putting the dual wheels on the Puma. We've done some rolling as well for sugar beet land that's coming sugar beet, and we've unloaded this drag. We're not using it in this update. We are going to be having this featured in Sunday's update. So that's it for the intro. Thanks very much for watching, and if you make it to the end, we'll see you then. Just one more thing before we get going. Just remember this Saturday is the NFU clay shoot. Proceeds going to LRSN that Alan has just spoken about in this update, and also to Lives, and also the Links and Knots Air Ambicopter. So links in the video description if you want to come along and enter a team of 4, and hopefully see you there.
I've navigated my way slowly into doing more lengthy YouTube videos, thanks to possibly this guy next to me making me. But yeah, it's been a journey, but yeah, it's good fun. But the cows came, not yesterday, the day before, so I really shouldn't be here. I should be at home, but yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, I'm going home straight after. I'm only having one drink.
Complete accidental YouTuber. I did something for BBC Breakfast the first day of COVID lockdown, 1,507 days ago, and recorded off the sort of iPlayer what we've done that day on the farm and put it out on socials, and everyone sort of watched it and enjoyed it.
I also have a podcast which is with Lizzie. She's not from a farming background at all, and we're basically trying to bring together those perspectives and bridge the gap between consumer and farmer.
Well, I'm the next YouTuber. Shut up, your
It's bank holiday Monday. We're not working at the minute today. We have got a few things lined up hopefully this week, and we're just letting the soil dry a little bit more after those 6 millimeters of rain we had on Friday. But I'm in, this is our field, one of our fields that have late drilled barley. It was drilled 3 weeks ago yesterday on the Sunday, and just nicely coming through. So generally looking quite well. A little bit of a patch here. It was obviously wet just around where Nala is and through here. We'll just look at that bare patch there in a minute, but nice and healthy looking at this. That hasn't been through the ground long, that one, and there's some just coming, you can see there. Got all the nitrogen on. You saw in the update last week we applied the nitrogen to it. So the nitrogen we put on last week was 100 kilograms a hectare of nitrogen. Now that's obviously the metric terminology, but it's a lot easier working it out that way than in old money. But I did have a few comments and questions asking me what it equated to in units per acre, which is the old way of looking at fertiliser application. So 100 kilograms a hectare is 70 units an acre in old money. So this is the wet area that Tom didn't didn't plant the other day, 3 weeks ago. You can still see it's lying wet here. You can see there. There is a drain that runs through these trees. The bottom end of this field, there's a drain that runs through here, and I wonder whether these roots of the trees have got into the drain. Nala, come here. Started to chase something. There is Nala, come here. Nala, good girl, come here. Just to the side of these trees there is the River Brant, and that's where it's drained into, and I'm just wondering whether these trees' roots have gone into the drain. So I think we need to get Barry here with the excavator and just do a bit of exploratory digging, just to see what we've got. That's it, that's the word. So here you can just see is the River Brant, just running through there. And very interesting, all these cowslips are all self-set. These flower margins, there's a few docks here now, and I think I have said in other videos that I'm just wondering whether these need to redo, because they've been down, they were established in 2005, so I do just wonder whether they need redoing, because there's a few weeds and various things getting in. I don't quite know what that plant is, but these buttercups here and all these cowslips are all self-set, which is fantastic when you look down here. So I've just come out the barley field there. The yard is just through there in the distance, and the A17, just see the traffic on it somewhere there. So this is one of our stewardship areas. Awkward shaped end of a field. You can see it's brown, or started to go brown. Ruben sprayed it with Roundup or glyphosate. Well, glyphosate is the active ingredient of Roundup. What's nalacine? Something in the soil or in the grass. So this has all been sprayed off not that long ago, only a week to 10 days ago. That's why it's not fully going brown yet. Still see it's a bit green, but it is going. You can tell by the colour of it. And the idea of this is I wanted it to go like this, kill everything off, all the grass weeds here. There's lots of weeds in this plot, and then we'll cultivate it deep, properly, and loosen it underneath, remove any compaction, put a bit of fertiliser on it, and then plant it with another crop, another winter bird food crop that provides habitat and feed throughout the winter. Next month we'll get that done. And then this is one of the wheat fields that we've mapped at the end. You can see the bare patches here, and the little areas inside the main boundary are what we call, they're the sort of interior boundaries, but I call them no spray zones. So they're the areas that won't get any inputs, because looking at this, there's a bare ground here. We'll not get anything from harvest, so we're not putting any inputs on these areas. Just walking back to my truck. You can hear the skylarks singing above. You can never see them, but you can hear them. Frankie, as always, is lagging behind. Come on, Frankie! We're just getting ready for the Lincolnshire Rural Chaplains sponsored walk. We've got Rhonda. They're just about to do the Viking way, so Rhonda's dressed appropriately.
Like I said, Cuba, mobile phones, nail glue.
Come on, yeah. I'll bring you one, shall I, Alan? So they're setting off on the Viking way, heading through Barnsley to a cafe for a start, and then Grantham, and then finishing at Marsden tonight. We'll have a word with Alan. Alan.
I am really pleased I'm not doing this
I was just
today.
going to say, looking at your shoes, looking at mine, we haven't joined them.
No, my feet were a bit sore after yesterday.
Oh, did you join them yesterday?
I did.
Well done, brilliant.
I did about 10, I think.
Did you?
Yeah. It was
fantastic.
all good.
So it's for the Lincolnshire Rural Chaplains organisation.
Yeah.
And
it's extraordinary. I met people from 25 years ago.
Wow.
All sorts of people who turned up from Barton upon Humber.
Yeah.
A family we helped out there, and
so so the walk started up there, didn't it? It started up
the Humber Bridge.
Humber Bridge, yeah.
And then it's been a solid.
And it's going to finish where?
At Oakham.
Oakham, so that's a good stretch.
On Friday.
Yeah. So they walk everywhere and then finish what, 5 o'clock at night, whatever, wherever they get to.
About 4.
4. And then they go home at night and then come back to the. So the Lincolnshire Rural Chaplaincy, that's the charity.
Yeah, it's looking to raise funds for the future. I've got a few more years to do, but my longing is that we get some people in post to work alongside LRSN, because we can do certain things that LRSN can't do. Yeah. I.e. we can just turn up. Yeah. And so I think going forward for LRSN and for chaplaincy, this is a sort of next step to ensure that we have a good holistic service for the farming community.
Well, the way things are at the minute, we need it. But just to sort of viewers are aware, LRSN is the Lincolnshire Rural Support Network that Alan started, co-founder, and Alan does a huge amount for farming in Lincolnshire and is there for anybody that needs him, and he's absolutely brilliant. The time you put into stuff, Alan, is just incredible, and you're a face that everybody knows, and a voice that everybody knows.
When you've been around a long time, it's like an old familiar penny.
I'll be glad when I get there, when I've been around as long as you and done as much as you have, because it's fantastic. So LRSN, just a quick minute on what that is. And I mean, I know it's a local charity, there's a huge amount in the rural sector.
Lincolnshire Rural Support Network, we have 4 nurses now. Started with 1 at Louth Market, but now we go all over the place. We have a travelling peripatetic hut that turns up.
It's called the Health Hut.
Health Hut. Turns up at farm sales and crop trials and other factories where businesses might say we'd like our workers to just have a basic health check. And, so brilliant. And then we have a whole raft of other people, some who are on the walk today, who offer support, practical support as well, financial, land agency, tax type of, as well as emotional support.
And that support, I mean, the calls I think that LRSN have been having this last year, 18 months, have just absolutely rocketed, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and it's it's the pressure of the land, isn't it? Yep. It's been an awful year, flooding, and we'll find out later on what the consequences of that are. We
will. If anybody wants to donate to this walk and to the chaplaincy, how do they go about it?
Just go on to Just Giving page, type in Merrill Ward Viking Way, and
come on. I'll put the link into this video so you can see it, and the link to the description of the this update, and you'll see how to do. So great, Alan. Thank you ever so much for everything you do as always. Just putting the dual wheels on the front of the Puma, ready to do some rolling. So just run it up on a plank like that to lift it up. You see it takes the weight off the tractor, and use the frame here to move it about and lift the wheel up like that one is. So rear it up and then put that round. Put it in that frame, and then we'll let the pressures right down. You can see there is a little gap at the bottom, you can see there, but not a lot, because these are all 8 psi, so 8 in those, and there'll be 8 in the front ones as well, so the tractor treads as light as possible. And then that's, so you just work that handle, you can see it's moving the rollers, which then lifts the wheel off the floor. So you see that rim's got to go in. That's it. These are the clamps that we put on. So the rings are on the tractor wheel there, and then the clamps and the hook are on the dual wheel, and then Ruben's just about to put the bar on. That's it, snaps down, that's got it sunk in there. Pulled it in there. Just got another clamp or 2 to put on and take that away. So just pulling the rolls out with this attachment we made for the front of the forklift. Really handy for these sorts of things, doing these jobs. So we just put the rolls on the hook. Ruben's just releasing the catch and lowering it down and extending it out like that. That's done on one of the spool valves, on the levers in the cab. Makes it easy, you can see it from the cab when it comes out like that. That's it, that locks it. It's all ready now for going. Put the pipes in, lift the jack up, all ready for rolling. Ruben's just coming back, just doing a bit more spraying. We are going to be spraying the spring barleys and the sugar beets in the next day or so. So just to explain what we're doing, this is one of the sugar beet fields, or one of the fields that's going to be planted with sugar beet. And you might be able to see over here somewhere is the Puma. We're rolling, just started to roll. So what we're going to do, I'll turn the camera around and explain and show you, but the idea I think here we've got is that because this week talks of a really dry, quite warm week, we don't want to dry the soil out too much. And once you move this soil, that's what happens to it when there's no rain forecast. So what we're doing is we're just rolling the surface to crumble the lumps that the weather has actually started to crumble, and it'll leave all the moisture underneath. So when we get the contractor's drill come in a couple of days, whether it'll be in this update or the Sunday update, I'm not quite sure yet, it will drill into the moisture underneath. Anyway, I'll just show you the type of job it's going to doing. I've got a trowel with me here just to show you how wet it is underneath. We'll dig down and have a look. Lovely day hit today. This is Monday. Blue sky, warm, probably 17 degrees, bit of dust blowing off the rolls, which is good. But this is what this heavy soil does. If you just look down here, there's a nice lump. You can see how it's wetted and dried from when we para-harrowed it, and the rain's got into that, and look how it just crumbles and falls apart. You can see there's a bit of dark there, so the moisture inside the lump. But the idea is that with rolling this, you can see there, as soon as you turn it over, that's wet, claggy soil. Not so wet as it has been, which is good, but the idea is that the rolls will just firm this, break the lumps, and leave a nice level surface for the sugar beet drill to go into. And the thing when you're Cambridge rolling, as it's called, when you're doing this rolling, you can go slow to do a good job and crush the lumps as such as you do after drilling on heavy land, or if you go faster, you do a less better job, but you still have a sort of an effect, a half type effect. So we're just going to perfect here and see what speed we need to go, but you can just see here the lumps when it crumbles there, how it crumbles. Look at the small lumps there, get the rolls on that. So we're rolling faster than normal, going about 10 kilometres an hour. So I don't want, is that 6 miles an hour? Probably, because we don't want it to do too much of a firming job. But you can just see here what it's done. So that is before and that is after. You can just see here how it has firmed, or so it has crumbled some of the lumps. It's pushed some of them in, but we're going to have to drill a bit deeper into the moisture. It is drying out, but there's the moisture you can see straight away down there. Tom's just digging out to see how, what's it like underneath, Tom? Wet. Yeah, look, it's still, yeah, like pudding. Yeah, look at that, just like plasticine. So we have to keep that underneath. Interesting, 1 or 2 people have commented last week's video and said I need to do the decent thing, we just need to plough it. I don't think probably you realise what this would be like if you ploughed. You'd end up with one seam full length of field and you wouldn't get it down for drilling any crop for probably a couple of months till it weathered. Nice and crumbly on top there. When we turn at the ends, you can see it double rolls a little bit just here, because you turn like a light bulb effect at the end, and you can see it leaves an area here not done, like a triangle in here. And then it leaves a little bit in the middle there where you turn not done also. You can just see here. A bit there not done. But the trouble is to get those areas rolled and to get this triangle rolled up there near my truck, you have to roll all this again, and it overdoes this area. It compacts it too much or consolidates it too much. So when we're rolling, unless it's ultra dry, we don't do these areas. We just go up and down the field and leave the headlands or these areas in the corner, these triangular bits like here, we'll leave them not rolled because it overdoes it, and then it affects germination or it gets water stood on it. But if it's really dry in the autumn, we will do the outsides on their own again. But you can see there's an area there we'll get twice. In fact, where you've turned just in there, just that area would get rolled 3 times. But yeah, it's just something that we've come to realise on our heavy soils. Up on the light land on the heath, it doesn't matter too much. It does have an effect sometimes if it's really wet underneath, but it's just something we found on these heavy soils, that you just have to do things differently sometimes and just adapt, otherwise it really does affect germination. So I've just come down to the field that we've done with the weaving energizer. These are the fields that's come into capulate beans. We're just doing it a second time, and it's certainly getting into it now. It's still quite wet, well, sticky. You can see when you look at that, but the lumps are drying out. Certainly opened it up a treat. It does want doing with something else. Not really quite sure what. I'm just wondering whether the Express would go well here and chop it up, or whether it wants doing again with this and then the Parahara finally. I don't know. You can just see what it's like. It is drying out though. Certainly owned it out a treat. This is the second field that we've got coming through the Beet. Ruben's just rolling this one. A little bit kinder field this. Probably I always say this is about our best field on the farm. Medium soil, really good for any crop. Had a load of machines roll up this morning to try. These are Guttler cultivators. They normally, or in the past, have been known for rollers, but they have got these cultivators and drags out. They fit various rollers to seed drills. These usually do a really good job. So we've got a smaller cultivator there. Drag. It's an interesting one. It's got a seeder unit on and rolls, and then we've got the big cultivator at the back here. Morning. We're lifting it off. That's it. Lifting it off with a forklift. We've got extending times through that. Really easy lifting off like that. It's all got protection on so it doesn't harm the paintwork, which is good. That shows how careful, good they are. I hate seeing machines strapped down on lorries with chains and things, just damaging the paintwork. And this one's a 6 metre, whereas the one we've lifted off across there is 7 metre. You can just see actually at the top, there's a bolt-on section there, half a metre section either side to take it from 6 to 7 metres. This has got the roller on the back, which that other one hasn't. Just weighed that, and it's 2,280 kilograms. So this is a 7 metre machine. We're just seeing what it weighs. Tom's just going back out to do a bit more with the weaving, and then the 2 Guttler machines, that one and that one through there, you'll see in Sunday's update, because I've got too much stuff to load for this midweek update. It'll make it too long. So Ruben's in one of our decent crops of winter wheat, putting the fungicide on and some trace elements, growth regulators. You just see the leaf, it's just drying now. Maybe just see it shining on the leaf what is applied. Not very well.